halls with boughs of holly. Fa la
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 la la
la la
la la
la.
la la la. Welcome to another episode of Cloud Chat with Stefan and Matt. I'm one of your hosts, Stefan Stelter.
And my name is Matt Brown. Happy holidays, Stefan.
Happy holidays indeed, Matt.
I
Looking
feel like I
festive.
just blinked my eyes and all of a sudden we're back here again. It feels like we literally just did this.
And what's interesting is the folks at home don't know. We might have just done two back to back in 2022. This could be rehashed. It isn't. It's 2023. Someone should hold up a newspaper, just the tail end of it. Excited.
Yeah.
It was an exciting year for me. We got out into the world a little bit and enjoyed that. We got to see a lot of our partners in our partner communities via what we call partner academies. So it's wonderful to hear live and in person from our partners. Yeah, and what the customers are up to. So
maybe some future time we can join in on that festivity. I'd love to meet the partners in person.
There you go.
And to kind of build on that, I think that should be the theme of our discussion today is, how are we closing out the year? It is definitely it has a different look and feel to it than this time last year. So and you talked about getting back together in person. I went to not one, but two industry events in the last 60 days. So,
tell us more. Which did you attend?
Attended both AWS reInvent and the Gartner event that happens out in Florida. And I'm telling you, you can tell by the interaction of folks, people love being back. I think both Gartner and reInvent, I think broke records. It was the first time. I mean, it was just steady streams of people, constant people. I have not seen anything like that in years. So it was kind of nice to see.
That's a wonderful thing. I find that people are struggling to figure out how to be humans in person. They forget that they can get up and leave. They feel like they have to stare straight ahead. It's like, no, you can turn around and look at the person behind you or the human sitting next to you. But it's getting used to that. You can also wear pants. Pants are encouraged. Like it's okay to wear pants in person. Not so much a concern when you're just a box.
Well, it's funny you said because it's not so much. It's the shoes. I'm not used to wearing shoes for. If you're out in the event, you're actually getting dressed up, and you're in. I like to say I'm in adult clothes for.
Yeah, standing in booth duty. My lower back hurts just thinking about it. But yeah, it's a good time. The feet numbness. I haven't.
What else I'm seeing, and I think I'd love to get your opinion from the partner space, but I think our customers are there in terms of adopting the cloud. In fact, what I am seeing is less about how to adopt and more about how do I now operationalize, how do I bring efficiencies, how do I maximize the value that the cloud I've already seen. And that's a dramatic difference over the last 12 months, in my opinion. Have you seen
absolutely? Yes. And I've been talking to partners about Blue XP a little bit, and we talked about that the last time we were together. And that's one of the elegant pieces of NetApp's evolved cloud approach here. Is just having those capabilities adjacent to each other. Okay, we're in the cloud, and now we want to optimize some things. We're in the cloud, we want to understand how our on-premises infrastructure is performing relative to our cloud infrastructure. That evolved cloud state of having stuff on premises and in multiple clouds is a really powerful thing, especially when you think about it. It's not just the having of the stuff; it's the being able to manage it in a simplified way that's more cost-effective, more sustainable. All of that goodness is really critical.
And it's cool because especially for me being an IT person, I feel like we've been kind of a little ahead of the curve in automation and our cloud adoption. I feel sometimes, I think we had shared this before, that sometimes because we are in some ways very mature in some areas, that we were so far ahead of folks that it wasn't really relevant, right? I finally think that a lot of things that we're doing right now, people are going, yeah, we're ready. In fact, I've already made these 3 mistakes. Can you help me avoid 4th mistake? And that's actually pretty exciting to be in a state where they not only can relate on a lot different topic, but they're already seeing the value that we have seen, and they want to do more. And I think that's a pretty cool place to be right now.
Absolutely. Are you seeing that with both traditional infrastructure people as well as next generation cloud, from the DevOps side of things, or maybe more from the developer side of things, the application side of things, than the infrastructure ops side of things?
So I am seeing what I would say more traditional companies.
Okay.
In terms of a lot of companies went from we're thinking about doing stuff to they're doing stuff. Big companies, big well-known companies. We would throw in that more born before the cloud space. Now the interesting thing is that in my opinion, a lot of them are taking the same approach. They still have their more traditional IT teams and they have a cloud team, which I think is short-lived, but I think it's a necessary step they have to evolve too. And in that context, I think the more traditional IT team are trying to figure out where they're going to fit in this new world order, right? Which is what I would expect. And then the question is, and been having a lot of conversations, is how does the IT organization evolve, right? Because it's not a light switch, it is an evolution. And everything that we were doing in the past still has to be done. It just is going to be done a little bit differently when you finally get to the cloud. So those have been the
Yeah.
themes of the conversations we've been having, I'd say specifically over the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit Ghosts of Christmas past in a sense, just from earlier this year, not that far in the past, but some of the conversations we've had about transforming and how organizations do that. I remember talking about guilds and cross-functional teams and getting some of the things done in a way that helps those folks who are transitioning role-wise into that new world order of sorts.
So let's prognosticate a little bit. Going into FY23, knowing what we see and the trends we're seeing, and I think I'd like to focus specifically on the partner space. What do you think are the trends that are going to grow into the next half of our fiscal year going to May?
I think customers are going to increasingly rely on their partners to help them navigate the cloud world. There are many NetApp partners that have adopted a services approach and have adopted cloud practices within their organizations to really help customers understand where their data lives and leverage the technologies that NetApp offers, but to help their customers understand where to put things, when to put things, how to put things, and how to automate them. And that becomes in my mind, one of the big pieces that our partners are spending time helping their customers evolve is that automated capability, figuring out what it is that they're doing in a repeatable fashion and figuring out how to automate that best and integrate it with the other systems that are in the environment today. So things like ServiceNow, right? How do we
Let me
integrate it and make it super easy to do
let me
and
poke on that a little
extend
bit
ticketing?
more. I
Go
think those
for
are
it.
two interesting themes. So you talked about, you know, I mean, use your words, where to go? Is that in terms of still moving workloads to the cloud? Is that context?
That is a piece of it. There's another piece of it that is when you think about how organizations ended up with multiple clouds. That's one of the things that I find
Oh, okay.
interesting in talking to customers. There are some that are making, yeah, I think it's a little funny in some ways when you look back at 2018 or so, and a multi-cloud strategy was an edict from leadership. Because we pursue a multi-vendor strategy in the data center, we're going to do a multi-cloud strategy.
Right.
We don't know what that means yet, but we're not going to put all of our eggs in basket A or basket B. I think more so now it seems that organizations are hiring talent, and the talent is bringing along a preference for one cloud or another. And there's while the organizations could choose to say, well, you're going to use the cloud that we use because that's what we've standardized on. I think there is a change maybe in the power dynamic where some of those developers are like, I'm either developing in the cloud I like, or I'm going to go find some place to go do that in the cloud that I like. So there's no point to fighting the inertia. Let's just figure out how to blend it. So the where it becomes something that's not necessarily dictated, but more adopted. And now it's a matter of how do we operationalize it in a consistent way across
So to
those
kind of,
multiple
I
cloud
guess I want to
environments.
go a little bit deeper there and ask the next question then. So do you believe most customers are going to end up with a multi hyperscaler strategy? Even though you kind of
I
get a
believe
sense
that,
that that idea
yes.
is kind of legacy, but I honestly think there's other positive reasons why
Well,
you
the reasons have evolved is what I would
okay, there you go.
suggest. All
Okay.
right. So in 2018, it was we're going to pursue a multi-vendor strategy, and that has some companies successfully adopted it for those reasons and went down that path. But I think more companies, from what I'm hearing, more companies are pursuing a multi-vendor strategy, multi-cloud strategy, just by the way that their talent is adopting, or the way that their application needs are leveraging different hyperscalers. And I think when we used to say hybrid cloud, it used to mean, well, both on premises and in one of the hyperscalers. And now hybrid multi-cloud and hybrid cloud are probably driving towards synonyms as towards describing two different things.
I
I think,
completely agree. I think that's going to be thematic into the new year. Now, the next one was you talked about automation, because we kind of seen that brewing now for a while. How do you see those conversations or those interests from the customers evolving for the next 6 months?
I think they're going to be increasing from what I'm hearing. It's hard for me to discern. It depends a bit on customer size and partner capability, whether the direction toward automation at this moment in time is something that everyone thinks they should be doing, so they want to do it, versus it's an absolute necessity because of the size and scale of our operations. We can't do this manually anymore due to scarcity
So
of resources,
there's
scarcity of
necessity
humans,
driving some of
scarcity.
this.
It certainly is in some organizations. In others, you don't have the scale where you need to do storage operations on a repeated basis necessarily. Some of that can still be managed more manually, but it's a much more elegant thing to be able to do. And we talk about this a fair bit in the evolved cloud thought processes. If I can develop to one set of APIs that works consistently across multiple
Right.
clouds, that sure feels like a savings in time, effort, energy, and that drive towards simplicity is a ultimate reduction in cost.
I apologize. I got distracted there because for a moment, one of your blue lights literally I felt like pierced.
That's the one I
You
have
turned
aimed
your
at
head in
you.
a certain way.
I've aimed a couple of them at you directly, so it's part of a social
I,
experiment I'm
I
running
didn't mean
right
to seem
now. So
distracted there, but also I was
no,
like,
no.
I'm either mesmerized or I'm blind. I don't know
Yes,
which.
I was targeting a very specific area of your retina. So we'll see if it worked by what you say next.
Yeah. But no, but I think those are two very interesting themes, because I am seeing that too. So hybrid, multi-hybrid cloud, really meaning multi-hyperscalers along with your private cloud, and automation. Now, I want to go a little bit deeper in the automation piece too, because like you said, some of it's driven by necessity, the administrative stuff. I also am seeing a lot of more automation in the delivery aspects. Are you seeing the need or the interest there from a customer perspective to focus on that, or continue to
Yeah,
focus
tell
on
me
that?
more about delivery in your context. When I think about partners and delivery, I think about day zero, stand up the environment. Can I do that in a repeatable way? That's where delivery
Oh,
goes in my brain.
so
And that's
yeah, I
certainly
was thinking
something we're
more
seeing automation. We're seeing automation there for sure. It helps.
I was thinking more not day zero, but day one, the stuff where developers start to consume, not the operational arm of it, but the consumption model of it still.
That for me is evolving with many of our partners.
Okay.
Some are very far down the path with their approaches on driving the operational aspects with the DevOps community, and we certainly provide tool sets at NetApp to
And
enable
then
that. And I think a whole lot of NetApp on NetApp experience and expertise has been fun to share with partners and end user customers, because I love the things that we're doing in our ongoing operations. I don't know, how would you classify the work that NetApp IT is doing with like Cloud One? Which day would that be? Is that day one? Is that day
well,
50 or
Yeah, Cloud One has been
what the
designed specifically for day one and day two. So not the setup of things, but then the delivery and then the ongoing operational support elements of it. So that the DevOps combo, right?
Yep.
Ability to be able to manage both. And then last, I think at least what I'm seeing is a trend, because I just came off of two fantastic calls with the field with some customers. That costs still matter, man, and costs matter probably even more so, especially for our folks who have already made that bold move or gone full cloud. They're realizing, wow, and you know what? I don't think the cloud is expensive as they thought it was going to be. But because we're in IT, it's always, well, now how do you bring efficiencies? How do you bring cost management efficiencies to it? So are you seeing that trend as well?
Yes, there's definitely a desire to reduce costs. That's an ongoing theme everywhere. I think the tight labor market has made
Oh, there you go.
put a really fine point on that for a lot of organizations. It's tough to find the talent you might need to operate your hybrid multi-cloud environment, and that again, it drives to that simplicity conversation. I'm curious. I've had sidebar conversations with some partners about some of their largest customers being very interested in sustainability initiatives, and I think
Oh,
as soon as I say
I think that is the
sustainability,
fourth theme.
it's interesting, right? Because I'm a Midwesterner, and I think there's a general, I don't know, there's a certain amount of conservatism in that the Midwest is known for in general, and I think if you work for a West Coast company and you mention sustainability, there becomes this instant sort of environmentally friendly, whatever, tree hugger stereotype that you might drive toward, but
I thought
it sure
Californians
seems
are the
like
anti-tree
that's,
huggers, man.
I know. I'm just, maybe none of these things you're allowed to say anymore. But I do feel, and I'm tremendously comforted that we're seeing organizations making these boardroom decisions around, hey, this is something our consumers, our
I agree.
customers want us to pursue. We want to be able to talk about these things out loud, and things like ESG or ways and ESG reports that help stockholders, shareholders understand a company's position and what their objectives are from a sustainability perspective. I think it's great to hear that it's not just one coast. It's something that we're all trying to strive toward, and organizations are working in that direction.
I fully agree. I fully agree. And I would agree that's probably the fourth theme, because I'm seeing it. I always have seen it from Europe. There's always been an interest from Europe, but to your point, it seems like there's a lot more interest stateside and from all different types of companies. So it is nice to see that is a concern. And I think NetApp has some great stories to support it.
Absolutely. I think it's a measurement that's been missing in the game of business that we need to add.
Be more
And
responsible. Yes.
yes, yeah, I think it makes it, I think making it a priority makes it, it levels the playing field. If everybody knows what the rules are, let's optimize to those rules. Business has done a tremendous job of optimizing to the rules that are at present. Market forces do a great job of optimizing. So let's add another measurement into that optimization mix, and we all can win.
Well, I'm gonna take that to the next level and say, given this is our holiday one, I'm gonna commit right up front right now to a New Year's resolution that we have to have at least one ESG related slide in our forward-looking NetApp and NetApp deck. So I'll promise you I'll include that going forward.
That sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, like I said, the year has just, I can't believe it's already the end of the year. I'm really having a hard time wrapping my mind around it. So
I am as well. I've certainly enjoyed these conversations throughout the year. I'm looking forward to 2023 and new exciting conversations about all things amazing in the IT landscape. Thank you for joining us on this journey, everyone. And thank you, Matt, for a wonderful year. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Oh, I'm sorry about the retina.
I was going to say,
so it worked. That was that.
I've seen the hat before, but the hat is actually, it's so festive. You're really putting me in that right holiday mood there. So
that's exactly what I had the lights tuned for that area of your retina that would make you appreciate the hat. So mission accomplished. It is our holiday episode. I did want to give something to you. I know. I just here you go. I thought you would enjoy this. Can I give this to you? Let me give that to you.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, wow. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of my favorites. Yes, you can enjoy
right after the bottle of wine.
Should be great.
And I got something for you, my friend.
What did you get for me?
I got you a bottle of wine, so I come over there, I have something to drink.
Oh, fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go.
Wow. Oh, it's my favorite. Thanks so much, Matt. I can't wait to enjoy this with you in person.
Happy holidays, Stefan. For our friends, remember, like, subscribe. Please give us some Christmas comments. We'd love to hear from you.
How's the hat? Who won the hat battle? I don't think that Matt was aware we were having a hat battle, but that's how I fight. I just show up with the most elaborate hat.
Some lights around it, but I didn't have the time. I didn't know. Next year, though, my friend, we're on.
Oh, sounds good. I'm fighting words. I like it. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
everybody.
Bye-bye.